This is something that I really like. Joshua Shcmidt. He's a really cool guy that I've been following along, and he talks a lot about the metagame and some other things like that. I definitely wanted to go over his what he's talking about with the OCG here, and I just think it's pretty funny. I also wanted to talk about some ban list predictions for this upcoming August and some other things like that. So we can just watch along real quick. And I'm going to close out Master Duel.
Anyways, we were originally looking at the OCG metagame. The Labyrinth is at 11%, which is, I think, very expected. Branded and Vandal. Now, I will say, for a deck breakdown that is like a new set and a new ban list, and it's like only a couple weeks in. For Age of Overlord, it's even the first week. This seems very, very narrow, right? There's like, this only lists 6 decks. It only lists.
So currently he's talking about the current metagame for the OCG, which is just Japan, which is, as far as releases go, there are a couple sets ahead of us that haven't been released here yet.
It lists 6 different decks. Of course, there's a large other portion, but you always have that. But it seems like after this recent ban list,
I'll make this bigger as well. Sorry.
and it does make sense. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this looks like a good format.
It's a good format, except for the tier limit.
This feels fine. It does. I mean, I'm used to.
Tier limit has been a meta deck in the OCG for like almost 2 years now, which is just absurd.
Look, I'm used to looking at an OCG breakdown. I'm used to looking at an OCG breakdown and seeing like 20% super heavy samurai. Right? Like I'm looking at these decks and it's like this almost feels like it could be a TCG breakdown, right? Without like, there's no block drag and shit here. Like for years, this is probably the most healthy OCG metagame breakdown that I've seen in like years. So I don't know.
Does Labyrinth have...
So Rescue Ace, I believe, has not changed.
A good question is, does Labyrinth have Eradicator Epidemic Virus and the other broken cards that make it such a pain to play with here? I'm wondering if they have to deal with that as well. So, like Eradicator and the... Oh, why can't I think of the name? The other trap that stops you from summoning a certain type from the extra deck.
Which I think, if I remember, like this card, Dia Bellstar, I've seen some posts on Twitter, but that card seems to be everywhere.
The Dia Bellstar stuff is really cool looking.
That card seems to be everywhere.
It's everywhere because it lets you summon, but it does a lot of different things. It can search out a level 1 fire monster, summon it to the field, I think. It also, which is why it's good in Rescue Ace, but it also can just, I think without using your normal summon, get into a level 8 Synchro, which is huge.
I have to recap these cards, I think, because I don't remember exactly what they do. But like the Dia Bellstar, I've seen it in a lot of decks. Okay, Purely doesn't use it.
I purely wouldn't need to.
Doesn't use it. Tearlament also uses it now.
Ugh, Tearlament. So Tearlament uses the Dia Bellstar engine to go into Chaos, the Chaos Ruler, which is legal in the OCG. It's banned here for a good reason. And so without using, I think, their normal summon, they can go into Chaos Ruler, look at the top 5, pick a card out of there, and then mill the rest of the graveyard, which of course triggers all the tier limits. It gets everything going for the whole deck. It's just kind of absurd to me.
There's a freaking pineapple in here.
There's a pineapple in here. Yeah, Chaos Roll pile, yeah.
It's just Chaos Ruler, no pile.
They go Nat Beast in that build too. That sounds terrible to play into.
Labyrinth is just very good in the OCG, I think. Labyrinth is just phenomenal. phenomenal. They got the new butler, and they also have this other trap card, which is an insane discard for the furniture. So like the lab
Dimensional Barrier. That's the card I was trying to think of earlier.
in like some capacity, I've seen that a lot. I've seen a lot of like small unchained packages in Labyrinth because they synergize really.
Well, I don't see Eradicator Epidemic Virus here, but I do see Red Reboot, which is annoying to play into. And I don't know what this one is here. That's a newer card that isn't out yet. The new Butler seems just broken, honestly, I gotta say.
Well, because you don't care about the theme block, and you get to go into your like I think it's Arias the Labyrinth Butler is mostly played in the Unchained Labyrinth build. Among the 7 Unchained Labyrinth decks that topped, 6 were running 2 to 3 Arias the Labyrinth Butler in the main deck. When the opponent chains an effect to disrupt your Labyrinth play, Arias in the graveyard would be able to special summon itself and could be used to link summon Unchained Soul Lord of Yama and switching over to the Unchained. So that's a version that's apparently doing well. They play the new Zeus, by the way, which I think is a good card in some decks. I don't know.
The new Zeus is really good in any deck that doesn't really care about summoning a bunch of monsters. That's pretty much it.
That are using it, but some are. It's a good option. Also, SP Little Knight.
Yep. That's going to be in every single deck.
Impact on the metagame, giving it.
So SP Little Knight, it literally, it's better, well I won't say better, it's really good spot removal using IP Masquerena to go into SP Little Knight. The same way you would go into Nightmare Unicorn, you banish a card, and then unlike Nightmare Unicorn, from then on, when your opponent does something, I think summons a monster or does something like that, SP Little Knight can then banish itself for that monster, and then come back. And then banish it and come back. So it just keeps on interrupting. It's 2 interrupts where the previous play, Nightmare Unicorn, was just 1. And it comes back, and then you can keep using it later on, or you can use it as a link 2 that, you know, you got on your turn. They can't really get rid of it because it's already banished. Comes back, and now you have link 2 on your field to do for whatever you want with. Like, it's just amazing. It's going to be the best card of that set.
To several top decks. SP Little Knight is the most notable card from the set and is played in almost every extra. Vanquish Soul decks are running the new Vanquish Soul Yugioh Long Effect monster. Sangpong Man played the Vanquish Soul, went 8-1 and finished first. Now this is base. This is base.
It's running There Can Be Only One. How base is it with There Can Be Only One?
Crazy that they're still running this one. That seems weird to me.
I mean, I like Vanquish Soul. It's really cool.
Why do you still play the What?
Yeah, exactly. His own chat. TC Boo based? Nah.
Fire to add off of Raisin? I mean, Raisin adds the other one as well, though. Can you not search the Jiao Long with it? Or is Jiao Long also a warrior? Is Jiao Long also a warrior? But Jiao... Yeah, it's warp, okay, yeah.
I don't have much else to say on this deck, to be honest. I don't know enough about it. I know that I got burned by Heavy Borger for 1500 on their turn and 1500 on my turn before I went into time.
Maybe one Pluton, one Pantera, and then you just pair that with Patrap. It seems relatively straightforward, but I mean, I like Vanquish Soul. I like Vanquish Soul. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it gets to Master Duel at some point, but I mean, first, before that happens, we have to live through Pantera. Let's not talk about Master Duel. This honestly looks like a fine metagame to me. I haven't, I don't know how toxic Rescue Ace is, but I think it's fine, honestly. Pearly I like.
Rescue Ace seems very strong, but I don't know if toxic is what I would describe them. They set 4 cards, that's their big thing. They get out the big guy, in set 4. And that's like, oh, well, they just went +4, and each one of them's an interrupt or some other way to interact. But comparably is like each one's just like an imperm or a Book of Moon or a bounce. Like they're not crazy effects. They're not floodgating you out of the duel or anything like some of the other things. Of the decks here, I think they feel like one of the most fair, kind of, to me. I haven't experienced them too much. Like they do fair stuff comparably to all of these other decks. You're not getting Gimmick Puppet locked by Branded. You're not getting eradicated by Labyrinth or otherwise floodgated with the Dimensional Barrier. Tearlament's doing all of the Tearlament BS that, I mean, it's been almost 2 years and they're still taking such a high percentage. Purely, it's funny, I would call both of these decks pretty fair, but they've also got the biggest representation, which is interesting. Purely certainly feels fair in the TCG rather than the OCG.
Rescue Ace and Master Duel already. I mean, I want to say that Master Duel may have.
Okay, Josh, I'm gonna
Relatively soon.
speed you up, Josh, just a little bit.
We got Runic relatively early, no? We got Runic before Tearlament, right? We did get Runic before Tearlament, so that's that. Which was not the same in the TCG. In the TCG, it was the other way around. In the TCG, we had Tearlament first and then Runic first. So we got that early. They're doing OCG release order? Well, okay, I didn't know they...
We also got Ishizu's in Master Duel way before we got Tearlaments.
Support is going to be over a year. That is true. I mean, they would, even if they did the first wave of support, they still would need to, they could choose to include the support from Duelist Nexus in it, but like, if not, then it's
Okay. That was interesting enough. I don't know, I like looking ahead at what's coming up to kind of get a feel for, well, what we like. I like seeing what's being played in the OCG, what's strong there. To be honest, it's most of the same other than Rescue Ace, which we just got the new support. We'll see if it does well here. One of the reasons Rescue Ace is so good in the OCG is because they have Max C at 3, and Rescue Ace can put up their whole board while, even if the opponent Max C's them, and only give your opponent like 1 or 2 draws. So it's actually, it's pretty fair in that sense. Like it, well, I say fair. It is really good in that sense. In the OCG, in the TCG, with no Max C, for it to play underneath, other decks, their power levels are just going to be higher, I feel like. I don't think Rescue Ace is going to do nearly as good here as it will in the OCG. But we'll just kind of have to see.